week 2, and we are still moving lightning fast. Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I am doing my weekly update for the second week of the month and updating on what all I have read for the readathons. Once again, doing the Battle of the Bands readathon, which I am team captain of AC/DC, the best team. And we have 20 prompts for that, so trying to get through all of those and working. And then also in the TBR Blitz from the Keymark, that just has 5. I've done actually 4 out of those 5 now, so I only have 1 left for those prompts. But I got a few left for Battle of the Bands, so let's chat. So first off, and I started this, or I think I finished it pretty late last weekend, so I counted for this week, which was Golden Sun. That's right, I finally read Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. The sequel to Red Rising, which I hated, and Golden Sun, yeah, it was pretty much just as bad to me. I don't care for this series. I was not pulled in at all. It seemed like it was just more of the same edgy Ender's Hunger Games kind of things. And this one, though, the ending, it just felt like it would not end. It felt like it reached an ending and then just kept going and just kept going. And so there's a bit of a drag. I got through, at least I can finally say, hey, I have tried Golden Sun, and no, it did not change my opinions on this series whatsoever. Still don't like it one bit. And I will not be reading any more of those books or anything by Pierce Brown, I am happy to say. Moving on to more positive notes. Next up we had We Men of Ash and Shadow by H.L. Tinsley. So this was an SPFBO finalist in 2021. I believe this book was really, really good and just extremely what I would call to be like just the epitome of, grimdark, with kind of like the nihilistic, just not really a lot of hope here. All the characters are bad people, even if they're the better bad people. And there was just so much here that I enjoyed. Definitely going to be doing a review talking about this more with it, because there's a lot more things that I want to say, but this was just really, really good, and I'm really looking forward to reading. There's a second book out, and I'm not sure how many this is going to be, if this is just going to be a trilogy or more, but I will definitely be continuing this one because I had a really, really good time with it. And then we had something completely different. And now this is actually book 3 I discovered, but I read the first Willful Child by Stephen Erickson. I'm going to be doing a video on this one too, just because I have to talk about it, because this is one of the most ridiculous things I've read/listened to. I found the audios for all 3 are on Scribd, and I went to start this one, and then when I went to go add it to my Goodreads, I realized this is book 3, and I need to start with book 1. So I started, and it's a Star Trek parody, specifically looking at Captain Kirk, and just really amping up all of the tropes, both that the show used, and that it's kind of known for nowadays, including the negative and not so appropriate ones, that kind of thing as well. And then it just really goes, and just the level of ridiculousness, that's a word I don't say often, just increases over time. And so I'm really excited for these 2. I had a lot of fun with it. It is just bonkers, ridiculous, not at all what you would expect from Erickson, but such a fun kind of break for something different. So that was a lot of fun as well. And then I did do my last 2 SPSFC books from the semifinals, which I'll be doing a video probably combining these, because shocker, wasn't a huge fan. But that included Galaxy Cruise, which was also a kind of, comedy, sci-fi parody type thing, and maybe it's because I did it the same month as Willful Child, but it did not land nearly as well. But I'll talk more about that. It was okay. It's just kind of a lot of the jokes, the humor didn't land super well, and so I was kind of just meh on it. And then we had Reaper, and this one just struggled with knowing what it wanted to be. Seemed like it was introducing a lot of unrelated things, trying to shoehorn them in together, and even the title of the book makes really no sense, which it's referring to something in the book, but it is so not the focus of the book, and so it's just it had some issues there too. But I'll talk more about those in a video. I'll probably do a combined video and split time between the 2, but done now with all of my semi-finalist reads for SPSFC. Going back, we're jumping around between negative positive here a lot, but we have the Paper Menagerie and Other Stories by Ken Liu, and I had been looking forward to trying this, even though Dandelion Dynasty by Ken Liu, I stopped after the second book. It was really good, and I would not for a moment say that it's not. It just really wasn't for me. The kind of storytelling I just found myself having to kind of drag myself through because I wasn't a fan of. So I stopped that series, but I still had this and still plan to get to it. And oh my gosh, this was something else. It started with some stories that were a little bit hit or miss, but as we got in, especially the ones where you could just feel had more of a personal stake for Ken Liu, the Paper Menagerie itself, that specific story was just heartbreaking and gut wrenching, and there were a lot of other sad and difficult at times short stories in here to read, but just absolutely astonishing. And I will probably do a video talking about that in more depth too, because I was not expecting to love that as much as I did, especially like I said, some of the early ones were a little hit or miss, but really just fantastic seeing what his short work is. And then ending out the week, we had The Warrior by Stephen Arion, which is back on the downslope because I didn't like pretty much anything about this. I felt like it kind of failed on every level for me as a sequel, as an end to a series, as a standalone story. None of it really worked, and so I'll probably do a video to talk about this as well, because I have a lot of things to say and complain about with this book, especially considering I really enjoyed The Coward, and I was really hoping to like this. I'd heard it wasn't as good, but I was even more disappointed than I thought I was going to be for sure on this one. So definitely not a win, but hey, it is what it is. And so, yeah, that's kind of where we ended up, which that gives us 2, 4, 6, 7 books. Yeah, it looks like during the week. So I still was keeping up almost with one per. And then I'm probably going to skip the weekly update next week, so I'll talk about what I'm reading now, just to kind of put that in there, because it's mostly going to be these. Right now on audio, I'm doing Beyond Redemption as a hybrid, so I'm doing audio and then the physical book here. And this is like even crazier than I expected knowing Fletcher, so this has been a wild ride going through here. And then I'm focusing most of my physical reading time on A Fugitive Prince by Janie Wirtz, which is book 3 or 4, however, depending on how you want to do it, of Wars in Light and Shadow, the first book of the Alliance of Light. And I need to finish this during this next week because I have a live show to talk about it. And so I'm going to be spending most of my time here. So probably doing more audio Beyond Redemption instead of hybrid, and focusing mostly physical on this. But I know I'm going to love this. So far, I'm not super far in, but so far it's already really good. I know I'm going to love it as well. So I will mostly be focusing on that, and then getting through with Beyond Redemption as well. If I finish Beyond Redemption early, I might pop in something else on audio while I'm still focusing on Fugitive Prince physical, but I'm not really sure because I'm going to mostly be really pushing for physical. So those are the ones I'm going to be working on, and then hopefully the week after this, the last week then of April, I will be able to fit in the rest of my prompts. I've been doing pretty good so far. I know I've got a couple other things that might take me a little bit of time, including one other really big book, but we're going to try and get through all 20, and so hopefully we'll get it. But that is it for this video with what I read in this last week, as well as some things that I am currently working on now. So let me know what you've read. If you're doing the readathons, how are you doing with those? Are you trying to hit all the prompts? Or are you just kind of doing like a normal amount of reading, counting it? Always interested to see what everybody's doing with that and reading in general. Definitely let me know. Otherwise, make sure to give the video a like if you enjoyed it. Check the link in the description, as always, for the Wizardly Do a Discord if you want to chat books, whether these books, other books, any books, really anything at all. It is a lot of fun and we would love to have you. And of course, if you enjoy my content, make sure to subscribe.